Hello everyone and welcome to Lost in the Episode. Today we'll be reviewing Apple TV Plus's new dark comedy series, Physical, about the rise of an aerobics star in the 80s. It stars one of my favorite actresses of all time in Rose Byrne, who has proven that she can pull off both dramatic and comedic roles. How does Physical compare to her past work, and is it worth tuning in every week for? Let's talk about it. First 3 episodes of Physical premiere today on Apple TV Plus, and tune in every Friday for a new installment. The series is created by Weisman and executive produced by Craig Gillespie and Liza Johnson. It stars Rose Byrne, Dierdre Friel, Rory Scovel, Paul Sparks, Della, Saba, and Lou Taylor Pucci. A woman struggling in her life as a quietly tortured housewife finds an unconventional path to power through an unlikely source: the world of aerobics. Physical is created by television veteran Weisman, but the main draw here behind the scenes will be that of Craig Gillespie, who just directed the Emma Stone vehicle Cruella and the Oscar-winning I, Tonya. His flair for snarky dark humor is alive and well in this new series, and just like in I, Tonya with Margot Robbie, he has found the perfect foil to deliver that type of comedy in Rose Byrne. While this show will certainly not be for everyone, as the season progressed, I found myself falling in love with Physical, despite its flaws. The series follows Sheila, a woman that has always lived in the shadow of her husband, Danny. As he decides to run for local election, she finds her life taking a tailspin that seems to never end. She struggles with an eating disorder that causes her great agony, and she also cannot seem to ever speak her mind, especially when it's most important. One day she comes across a young woman named Bunny's fitness studio, where a group of women get together to do aerobics. Sheila finds that this release of fitness allows her to overcome her obstacles and gives her a whole new inspiration in life. As her husband delves deeper into politics, she decides to go behind his back to start a fitness empire. There is something so utterly satisfying about watching an underdog conquer their fears and to trample everything that is standing in their way to finally find success in life. And while Sheila isn't your typical underdog, it is still impossible not to root for her. One thing that makes this series stand out, and what might repel some viewers, is that the entire show is narrated with Sheila's thoughts. While she might be timid on the outside, her inner monologues are filled with expletives, harsh critiques, and self-deprecating humor. This makes Sheila very unlikable at times, but also extremely easy to relate to. It's also refreshing to see her be able to rile up the courage to say her thoughts out loud as the season progresses. This series reminds me a bit of AMC's new original program, Kevin Can F*** Himself, in that both shows follow women who are trying to reclaim their lives from their bumbling moronic husbands. But while in Kevin, it was difficult to relate to the protagonist Allison because she went off the deep end by trying to murder her spouse, here, Sheila's plight to start her own empire despite her husband's political exploits is a much easier pill to swallow. There is something so vindicating about seeing Sheila open up, find her voice, and not stand in her husband's shadow any longer. Rose Byrne is absolute dynamite in this series. She is miraculously able to pull off the self-deprecating humor and darker aspects of Sheila's personality. Many performers would not be able to make this character compelling for the sheer fact that she is the definition of a flawed human being, and her flaws are laid bare. But I also found that to be another very refreshing aspect of the series, that they didn't try to make this character perfect. Rather, they let Sheila bask in her weaknesses. The rest of the cast is also quite good, though there are a few very unlikable characters here. Her husband Danny, for instance, played by Rory Scovel, can be a selfish, sad little man much of the time. He's also a bit gross and immature, so spending too much time with him on screen is not the most pleasant thing in the world. Tyler and Bunny, played by Della Saba and Lou Taylor Pucci, are the couple that Sheila works with to start her aerobics journey, and they are both really endearing and have a lovely chemistry with each other. I just hope that in a second season, we get more of a story arc for the both of them. However, it is Dierdre Friel as Sheila's friend Greta who is the real MVP of the series, for me at least. She brings a genuine earnestness to the show that is much needed, and it is also a joy to see her journey of taking back her life as well. But Physical has an issue that many will not be able to look past. It's just not all that funny. It's hard to mine a lot of laughs out of a show about eating disorders and fitness, and if self-deprecating humor is not your thing, well, you'll probably find the series flat out laughless. I also must say that I was not sold at all from this show by its first 2 episodes, and it wasn't until the end of the 3rd, where you can finally see where Physical is actually going, that I became invested. Lastly, no spoilers here, but I was really turned off by the season finale, and wish they had just left it with the 9th episode, which I think ended perfectly. But despite some unlikable characters, a rocky first couple of episodes, and a dark tone that was initially off-putting, I became truly riveted by Sheila's journey in Physical, and cannot wait to see her continuing rise to the top. In Lost in the Episode, I rate each show in one of 4 different tiers. Must watch, watch if you like the genre it exists in, watch if there is nothing else to watch, and skip it altogether. I make that decision from combining 2 different scores. One based on entertainment value, how bingeable or watchable a show is, and production quality, the caliber of the writing, acting, direction, etc. Physical was not the easiest show to get hooked on until the 3rd episode, but once Sheila's journey really jump-started, I could not stop watching this show. So I will be giving the first season a score of 85% for entertainment value. As for production quality, the show's time period of the 80s, the good and the bad, is magnificently brought to life. Rose Byrne is exceptional, and I can honestly see this being an Emmy-nominated turn for her. The writing, while not all that funny and a bit off-putting in moments, is still very compelling stuff, and every episode is brought to life with a ferocity from the direction that really added to the series' vibe. So I will be giving that a score of 91% for an overall score of 88%. This is one of the highest scores I have given to a first season of a show all year. And even though I do know that this will definitely not be for some people, you should watch Physical if you like dark dramedies. This series is one heck of a trip, and if you give it some time, I have a feeling that most of you will warm up to it and be cheering for Sheila along with me. Thank you so much for watching Lost in the Episode. We will see you soon.